Teach it the way we teach it, because we teach it the right way. Let's start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachakodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is Teach It the Way We Teach It, the Right Way. And I got that title from a lesson Elder Pastor did. I believe this was my commentary on the origins, roots, history of One West. And pretty much he mentioned that title towards the end of this video. And I wrote it down. You know, I really didn't have anything to go into, just watching videos, you know, to get inspired to do a lesson. And when he threw that out, I said, you know what, let me just, you know, let me grab that and bring it out. Because at the end of the day, you know, as the scriptures say, you know, which we've brought out many times in the book of 1 John chapter 2, right? We'll start off there. And verse 20. You know what? I'll start at the 19th verse. No, 20. I thought the 19th verse was something else. But all right, 1 John 2 and 20. But you have an unction from the Holy One, and you know all things. You see, and that's the thing. You know, if you're going to teach, you know, you have to teach everything. The Apostle Paul said that, you know. And, you know, this is why the men of the Lord were always hated. Because they would be bold in things that they said, which sometimes would seem like it's boastful, but it's not. You know, we're not saying it as a pride thing. We're not saying it as a thing of, we are exalting ourselves over everybody else. We're saying it as a thing of truth. You know, it is the truth. Just like here, the Apostle Paul said, what is it? Acts chapter 20 and 27. Matter of fact, I started 25. And now behold, I know that ye all, among whom I have gone preaching the kingdom of the Most High, shall see my face no more. Right? Because he knew that he was about to be, you know, brought before, you know, these governors and leaders, as Yahushua spoke about. You know, he had to stand trial, and there was a possibility, you know, he wasn't going to make it back. And, you know, the Spirit kind of revealed to him that, you know, he was going to pretty much die. You know, this is why he wrote certain letters and said, you know, that I have fulfilled my course, I have finished my course, I have kept the faith, so on and so forth. It says, wherefore I take you to record this day, that I am pure from the blood of all men. And this is the reason why we have to teach the 100% truth. Because, you know, the blood of those out there that we don't teach, you know, would be on our hands if we didn't tell them. Yahushua said it best in the book of St. John, the 15th chapter. Matter of fact, before we read this, let's go there. St. John 15. This is what he said. This is 1 John 15 and 21. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. And this is the reason why Jake out here doesn't accept the truth. Because they don't know the Father. They don't know the Son. They don't know Yahweh and Yahushua. You know, what they know is things that they've been taught by this Renaissance / plantation Christianity, you know, that's been passed down, you know, from the slave master. And this is why you have certain Israelites out there that shun the Bible all completely, because they think that it's the white man's book that was, you know, that was used, you know, to promote his way. But it's our book that was used against us in deception. And that's what happened. It says, if I had not come and spoken unto them, see, they had not had sin. So if Yahushua didn't tell them the message of the Father, then they would be with excuse because they didn't know. But now they have no excuse because they have been told. So this is why the Lord said, you know, tell them whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. Because at the end of the day, everyone out there is held responsible for the things that they hear. if they accept it or not. It doesn't matter if they accept it. It matters of, if, it matters that they either take heed to the message of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai or not. And that's going to be the thing that judges them, whether it be for good or for evil. But now they have what? No cloak for their sin, meaning that they don't have any covering now. Now they're open to the truth. All right, it says, he that hateth me, hateth my Father also. So how do you hate Yahushai and the Father? By not doing the things that they said, by not teaching the things that they said. Yahushai said, if you love me, keep my commandments. He asked Peter, you lovest thou me? Feed my sheep and feed my lambs. And that's exactly what, Peter did and the apostles did. So going back to Acts 20 and 26 now, wherefore I take it to record this day that I am pure from the blood of all men. Why? Because he told them everything that they needed to know, and he warned them of all the things that they were going to have to deal with. And he got them prepared for his departure, because he knew eventually he would have to leave, and they would be, vulnerable if he didn't explain these things to them. So it says, for I have not shunned, I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of the Most High, meaning 100%. Nothing left out. Everything, taught. Everything, explained. All of the mysteries and the secrets revealed, so that they can be without excuse. They could be without excuse. They don't have anything to cover them because they heard it. Now, whether or not they got down with it or not, that's not our consequence. Our thing is not to make people believe this truth. Our thing is to teach the word and let them know. And if they hear, beautiful. If they don't, then that's going to be a judgment against them. So going back to 1 John 2 and 20, but you have an unction from the Holy One, and you know all things, right? An unction is an anointing. And, this is why we, the title of the lesson is Teach It the Way We Teach It, because we're teaching it the right way. And one of the main things you have to teach correctly, outside of the names of Yahweh and Yahushai and the gospel, of course, is also the prophecies, or are also the prophecies, especially the one pertaining to the MOTB. That is a very important prophecy to know, because there's something that has to be avoided. And if you don't know how to identify it, how can you avoid it? You have to be able to identify what this MOTB is so that you can avoid it. And you can't go wrong if you teach it the way we're teaching it. The lesson I did yesterday through the Spirit, was something that John Todd said, which I didn't even remember he said that. And he pretty much said that the MOTB is spiritual. And this is the same thing these individuals in IUIC and ISUPK, or, other, I'll say IUIC and others are pretty much teaching. That it's a spiritual thing. It's the same thing as the MARK in the book of Ezekiel 9 and 4, and it's not. This is why Pastor Mike, was getting on the IUIC about being illiterate, because they don't go into the original languages that the scriptures were written in. And if you did that and put your pride aside, maybe the Spirit would work with you and open up your mind to show you that, the MOTB, which is the charagma in the Greek, is an actual thing that they plan on inserting into, each and every human being on the planet. They won't be able to get the elect, but they'll get, the rest of the people. And this is what they plan on doing, because they know that that device makes someone a servant for life. So you got to understand that these devils, they know the scriptures. They've studied the scriptures. They've had, scholars dissect the scriptures down. So they know the intricate parts of it, but they're just not spiritual. This is why the Lord said that they never considered their latter end, And you have to know these things. Beautiful. Let me read some of these precepts that the elder put up. 1 Corinthians 14:37. If any man think himself to be a prophet or a spiritual, beautiful. Then it's an oldie but goodie. Let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you, are the commandments of the Lord. Right. So if you think yourself to be spiritual, you should, know the breakdowns, because that's what it means to be spiritual, to be connected with the book, to be connected with the instructions. Verse 38, but if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. Same thing. Oh, yeah, he put it right on time. Revelation 22:10. And he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. And this is why we're supposed to tell the people what these things are and identify them so that they know what to avoid. Verse 11, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. So if there's any that is unjust, well, the scriptures say, let him be unjust still. Another scripture came to mind. I'm trying to see if I can remember it. Oh, yeah. Right? So it says, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. Right? Because these words and the true breakdowns of the scriptures is what cleans an individual. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto, according to every word of the Most High. Yahushua told the disciples, now you are clean through the words which I have spoken unto you. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. That they may be washed by the water of the word. So many words. Because this is all the cleansing. But if any man be unjust or filthy, let them be unjust and filthy. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. Verse 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to his work, according as his work shall be. Correct. Matter of fact, this is another good one. 1 Peter 4:11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of the Most High. If any man minister, let him do it as the ability which the Most High giveth. So there's a way that you're supposed to break it down, and break it down properly. Right? Then it goes on to say that the Most High in all things may be glorified. See? Because it's all about the glorification of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Not boasting or bragging or putting men up on pedestals. Through Yahushai, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. So be true. So it's all about the glorification of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Because through this teaching, the world is being introduced to the true power of the heavens and his son. And when he sends Yahushai back, what Yahushai is going to do is in showing himself and doing the things that we've been, speaking about that he's going to do, that magnifies those names, the name of Yahweh and the name of Yahushai. All right. Let me read this one. St. John 15:3. Now are ye clean through the words which I have spoken unto you. Correct. That's right. Matter of fact, wow. Let me read a couple more of these. Jeremiah 23:28. The prophet that hath a dream, let him tell a dream. And he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully. And that's it. You have to break it down the right way. And if you break it down the way we break it down, you can't go wrong. And we believe that through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai with all humility. It says, what is the chaff to the wheat, saith the Lord? 2 Timothy 2:24. And the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach, patient. Apt meaning skilled in teaching, right? And how do you become skilled in teaching? You have to study to show yourself approved. And when you go into the actual root words and the origins of the language, it gives you a better understanding as to what that verse is. And this is why sometimes you'll see us go into the NLT or different other versions just to give you a little more perspective, because sometimes in some other translations it brings it out even more clear so that you can understand. It's all done for understanding. So Titus 1:15, it says, unto the pure all things are pure. You see? And let's look up this word pure, because something that's pure is 100%. No, something that's pure is not defiled. There's no lie that is of the truth. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. So the word is katharos. which is clean, pure, see, physically purified by fire, in a similitude like a vine cleansed by pruning and so fitted to bear fruit, right? Because you have plantation / Renaissance Christianity that has been, around for a while, and that was the thorns and the briars that was sticking out of the book that the Lord gave the prophets, gave us the ability to trim those hedges back, to groom it properly. As you saw the video Elder Apostle Gabar just did, dealing with, making up the fair jewels. There's a polishing that goes on. See, when people look at jewelry, they don't look at the intricacies that it takes, to get that piece of jewelry or that stone, to where it's looked at in awe. It takes a lot of work. First you have to find it. Then after you find it, you got to clean it. You have to mold it. In certain cases, you got to put fire to it. Then you're constantly working on it. And after long laborious, after long labor, eventually you have a piece, that when you look at it, you're like, wow, because the last parts of it is polishing it, and it has to be polished. And this is what the truth is. It's being polished. All right. So let's go back. So it says, unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled, see, and unbelieving is nothing pure. And this is why some of these individuals can't get it, because it wasn't given to them. They don't believe that, that this is the truth. They don't believe that the MOTB is the micro C-hip, and being that we're the most infamous camp out there, and they say, well, if GMS is saying it, I'm not touching it. If they say it, I know it ain't right. I scorn, If they're saying it, I know it can't be right. And they're going to allow their emotions to get in the way, of their salvation. Because this thing is coming. It's here, and it's coming. It's fast tracking. And this is why you got some individuals out there that are scrambling so that when it finally comes out, they can so-called save face. And that's what they're doing. This is a beautiful precept. Titus 2:7, in all things showing thyself a pattern of good works, in doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity. Right, because some teach Yahushua of contention and others of sincerity. But the Apostle Paul said, no matter which way you teach it, whether it is in sincerity or in, contention, pretense, Yahushua is preached. And he said he rejoices. You know why? Because the word is still going out. And at the end of the day, you have to have good examples. You have to have bad examples. You have to have true prophets. You have to have false prophets. And the main thing that, we have against a lot of these other camps, one of the main things is the MOTB. Because the majority of them don't teach it. They teach that it's, either sin or an embargo or Christianity or other things. Matter of fact, let me read this again. The brother put another verse. Titus 2:7, in all things showing thyself a pattern of good works. In doctrine, see, because doctrine is very important to keep pure. And there's only one way, showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity. It says sound speech, see? And that sound speech, is the MOTB being the micro C-hip. And this is the thing that they're going to use to, to deceive the majority of the world into taking it, because it's going to be done as a thing of convenience, and some people are going to be in like a desperate state once things change from, swiping credit cards and pulling out dollar bills to having to have a device in you, to that you swipe your hand or they swipe something across your forehead in order for you to make these purchases and get your information. See, everything is moving forward. And when you look at the three words in the Greek for mark, there's charagma, then you have Karax, which is the delivery system to get the charagma inserted, and then you have the last word on the root word chain is graphel, which is where you get the word graph or writing. You know, and the writing is what? These are the records that'll be inside of this device that they plan on putting in people. And they've been planning this for a long time. You know, and it's very important to have that true understanding of what that is, so when it comes, you can avoid it. It says, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you, right? Because at the end of the day, all of these things are going to manifest. It's going to be known. Then shall they know who serve the Lord and who don't serve the Lord. So going back to Titus 1:15, unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. See? But even their mind and conscience is defiled. And this is why, if you get the proper understanding, that unclogs or undefiles your mind. This is what the word does. It cleanses. It's a cleaning agent, and it cleanses the mind. This is why it says to be renewed in the spirit of your mind. And you have to be armed with these things. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might. These scriptures are a weapon, set up to protect us when these times come, these hard times come. But a lot of Israelites are making light of it. They're not taking it serious. They're playing games with it. And the Lord is going to deal with them. And then the thing is that, they have a huge following because they cater to the needs of these people, to the lifestyles that they're looking for. So they're not coming into this thing really because of the word. They're coming into this thing because of some gimmick or something that they can gain from it, and that's the wrong reason to come to this thing. This is why John the Baptist said, bring forth fruits meet for repentance. It's not just because you're an Israelite. That's not the only requirement. Oh, beautiful. There's another good one. 1 Timothy 4:16, take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. So you have to have teachers. So that's why it's teach it the way we teach it, because we teaching it the right way. And it's like I said, it's not to be boastful. It's just to be truthful. There's a difference between pride and truth. Ephesians 4:11 says, and he gave some apostles and somewhat the people to learn. Because when you go up above this, it speaks about one faith and one Lord and one baptism, which is only one. There's not 2 truths or 10 truths, or you have 15 different groups that all have a piece of the truth. No, you either have the truth or you don't. 95% or 99.5% just won't do. Inside joke. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers. For what purpose? For the perfecting of the saints. Perfecting them in what? In the understanding of this truth. That's why the Apostle Paul said, we speak this this word among them that are perfect. Perfect in what? Perfect in understanding. For the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Yahushua, because it's all done unto edification. If you love me, feed my sheep, feed my lambs, till we all come in the unity of the faith, right? And of the knowledge of the Son of the Most High. And this is why the teachers were set up. You shall hear a word behind you saying, this is the way. Because obviously we were all going down the wrong way at one time, until the Lord woke us up and turned us in the other direction, the right direction. Unto what? A perfect man. Perfect in what? Perfect in understanding. Unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Yahushua, because each member of the body coming together, teaching the right doctrine, makes that whole body. And each member, of that body, has something that they bring to the table, a gift that the Most High gave to them. And they are getting prepared for the marriage supper of the Lamb. And conjointly with the right doctrine, they all, putting their gifts, together, to perfect the body, to perfect the rest, of the elect of the nation of Israel. It says, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Yahushua. So teach it the way we teach it, because we're teaching it the right way. Matter of fact, let me read a couple of these before I close out. Beautiful. This is a good one right here. Ecclesiastes 6:36. If thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Right. And it's all for the edification. Because we know sometimes certain individuals come over, and they learn stuff and use what they want and discard the rest. But hey, it is what it is. We're here to teach the word. That's it. Yeah, so I mean, this is a pretty good time to end it there. So, teach it the way we teach it, because we teach it the right way. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. And to the next time I say, Shalom.